Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on the channel. This time it will be a build for loophero. You will get the best tactics and strategies that you can use for the Necromancer class. Now, we'll cover from stats to map tiles, how to place them, where to place them, your deck, your traits, and the best loop strategy that you can use in order to basically annihilate bosses and annihilate everything on the map. The idea is to go a bit over the basics, how you unlock the Necromancer, how Alchemy works, how supply works, how craft works, and then you can have a look at the specifics for the Necromancer class. Now, first and foremost, you will of course need the Necromancer class. It doesn't come in the game on the very first few runs that you'll be doing, so you'll need to do a few runs with Warrior, if I'm not mistaken. And then you'll need to unlock this script, which will give you the Necromancer class and one of the golden cards that you'll need for the deck, which is the Ancestral Crypt. I recommend looking at all of this, not specific to the Necromancer class, but you will unlock Alchemy, you'll unlock Supply, you'll unlock Craft, which will give you a big boost in the runs that you have. Especially where is it, like the herbalist set. The more times you upgrade this herbalist set, the potions will heal more and you'll get more potions, which is critical as you go around loops. This will be pretty big for you, and this is one of the key upgrades that you need to have for sure. Same thing with watchtowers, since they will be near your campfire, which is where you fight your bosses. So having upgraded watchtowers there, the bosses, they won't be there for the bosses, but if you put a lot of tiles around the bosses, which I recommend doing, there will be enemies there, and the hardest enemies will be there, and you can use the watchtowers to just make them easier basically. And it's a big boost. No sugarcoating there. Now, river and bridges. You'll probably need to grind a bit for these ones, but once you have this, you pretty much have everything you need to steamroll anything on the Necromancer class in the game. So, now that we've gone a bit on the building side, let's just go shortly on the supply and craft. So, the supply here is all your supplies that you have. Then you have like 4 categories. You have furniture, tools, food, jewelry. Here I would say it's free for all. You can decide on your side what you would like the best for your runs with the cards that you have. There's no specific thing here. For example, I use here old paintings. Why? Because I'm increasing the damage on the boss by 4%, and these are stacking, which means that I'm dealing 12% more. Then I have, because we are including vampires on our deck, I have minus 4 damage against vampires. I have plus 1 defense for every card in the player's hand, and this is great. Why? Because you'll have a lot of cards in your hand, so you get a lot of defense. Also, plus 2 years damage against all undead. Then here, it's basically healing items, plus 10 max HP, heals 1 HP after you kill an enemy. You'll be killing a lot of enemies, so that's actually good. Then, as you get more defense from down here, you get here 2 plus max HP for each point of defense that you have. Like here, since you'll be fighting vampires a lot, more damage against vampires, always good. They deal a lot of damage. Here, it's more about dealing damage to enemies. So enemies, after they hit you, they will receive damage with this. I put 2 of them. This will raise the chance of you finding a rare item, which is really key. Why is it key? Because the bigger the loot rarity that you get, the more likely it is that you are going to get the stats that you want for your Necromancer loop run. And the more rare items you get, the easier the run will be for sure. Now, up here, I put a lot of these ones that you see here. These will give you more potions. The higher amount of potions that you have will be the better, because you can sustain your loops much easier as you go around. And this is just like here, this one is plus 1% to the max HP, but you get then minus 2% healing from the campfire, which I don't think you'd need that much the healing that you get from campfire. Especially with the Necromancer, you shouldn't be taking that much damage with the Necromancer. Your skeleton should be taking the damage, not you. So that's also this, which will regen you, so makes that one even less of hindrance. That's basically it. Now you can basically craft this. This will drop during your run as your loot for the loop, but if you go here to craft, you can also craft items here with these little things that you get from the loop. And you can either, for example, dismantle, and you get, like, if you get items that you don't think are good for your class, or you don't think that are good for the runs that you want to have. For example, you can have items that will be for enemies that you don't have in your deck. For example, in your deck you can have swamp, which will spawn a specific type of enemy, and if you get an item that targets that type of enemy, since it is not in your deck, there's no point in having it, right? So I will just dismantle it, and you'll get more materials, which then you can use to craft or you can use to build. Now there is also this encyclopedia. I won't go too much into detail, but basically you can get these little things here, these articles, which will help you on the buildings. I think there's some buildings that use this type of articles things that you get from the encyclopedia. And then there's alchemy. There you go. Here you can use the articles that you can get, and then you can synthesize. No, sorry. Here you can basically, with alchemy, with the materials that you have here, this thing here, hydrogen, you can basically either decompose to gain more hydrogen, or you can synthesize to create materials. This is basically on craft, you use the materials you have to build things for the supply, and on alchemy, you can use the materials to either, if you don't need some of the materials, for example, I have, I don't know, 561 of these, I can just decompose, increase a lot of more of my hydrogen, and then just synthesize to create more materials that I want, you know. So that's the gist of the basics of what you can do to increase the likability of you having a good loop run. You'll need to grind a lot for this, yes, but it's completely fine. Now, show you the most important part, which is the deck. The deck. There can be a lot of variations for the Necromancer. This is what I think is good, and this is what worked for me. There are other alternatives that you can use, and I agree. I could swap out some other cards and it would still make a viable build. This is what I think is the fastest to make your build stronger in terms of the cards you have, and it's also the smoothest. In here, what I include village. What this will do is, instead of having the campfire where you heal, right? That's why I put that item there, which I don't care about less healing on the campfire. Why? Because we have villages. When you pass on a village, you gain HP, and after a while it will spawn like a scarecrow, which will also may give you rare items. After a while, it will give you quests, and that quest will spawn some enemies that will have loot, and this loot will be rare, and there's a higher chance of you getting the stats that you want. The more of these quests you do. Then you have groves. Groves will basically spawn these rat wolves. And why are groves key? It's not because of these rat wolves, although of course they hit hard after a while on the loop. We want groves because we want to have the blood groves. Why? When you are playing, you have your campfire. You'll put a grove right before your campfire, and that's where you put your blood grove. The blood grove, what it will do is, every time you get to the loop, a boss will spawn on your campfire. If you have this blood grove on your campfire, What means is when the boss reaches his final 15% HP, it will basically drop. The boss basically will have 15% less HP. This is OP, and that's why we use it. Now, in terms of enemies here, we also use spider cocoons, because spiders are easy to kill, and they are never threatening, you know. But we also need vampires. Vampires are the most dangerous in here, and that's where you need to be careful. I wouldn't start putting vampire mansions on the first few loops of your run. Start putting it once you get some good stats already, then we can start killing them. And I would also put them near your campfire, where you have your groves. Why is that? Because you'll have watchtowers there. They will help you kill these vampires really easily. So I tend to put them there. You can put on the rest of the map, but where you put more vampire mansions, it will be really on the near the campfire. Now, Battlefield, this is a good overall card. Why? It will give us more loot, and the enemies aren't too dangerous. So you can put them. One thing that can happen is enemies, when they die, they can become ghosts. The probability is low, but they become really dangerous, but the loot is really good. So it's 50-50 on like the card has its shortcomings and its advantages, but it can turn a good run immediately, a bad run into a good run immediately. Now, Bookery. Bookery is essential. Why is that? In order to explain Bookery, first I need to explain Forest. Why? When you have forests, you can also have thickets. We aren't interested in forests. Why aren't we interested in forests? Because if you look here, you can see on the right that for each forest you get 1% hero attack speed. However, you can't see it here, but a thicket will give you 2% hero attack speed. So if you play a lot of forests, first you'll be losing tiles where you could place thickets, and second, you'll be getting forests a lot more frequently, and you'll be placing them immediately. What this means is, the more tiles you place, the closer you'll get to the boss spawning. If the boss spawns because you've been placing way too many forest tiles, you'll get to the boss weakened. You might luckily, in a lucky run, actually beat him. But for chapter 1 and 2, but for chapter 3 and 4, if you do this, just put forests, you'll get to the boss quickly and he'll destroy you. There's no doubt of that. So I would say skip on the forests, keep them in your deck. In your end, use Bookeries, swap the forests as best as you can. Before you go through a Bookery, the tile where the Bookery is, use whatever cards you have in your hand, so this Bookery will only replace the forests. And maybe it will give you thickets. That's the idea. Now, River. River is the most important card on our deck. Why? Basically, it doubles the effects of adjacent landscape tiles. What this means is you'll be placing a river, and then you place a ticket next to it. Another ticket next to it. Another ticket next to it. What this means is, instead of having 2% attack speed, it will be doubled, which will be 4% attack speed. And you'll put lots of rivers on I'll show a trial run where I do that, but you'll be putting lots of rivers and then lots of tickets. That will basically skyrocket your attack speed. It will take a while to get a lot of tickets and a lot of rivers, but there's a point in the game where you'll have that. And once you have that, your attack speed will plummet and you'll be crazy. Now, we go to Suburbs. Another important card in our deck. Why is that? By placing Suburbs, you will increase the experience gain from killing enemies by 1. Now, if you place Suburbs in a specific pattern, which will be 1 in the left, 1 in the center, 1 on the right, 1 in down, 1 up, it will spawn another card. And in that card, instead of increasing the experience gain for killing enemies by 1, it will be by 2. As you do that, a lot of times, you will gain a lot of experience, so you level up faster, and this means you'll take traits, more and more traits. Each level will be 1 trait that you can get. The faster you level, by killing enemies, the faster you get traits, the stronger you'll get. That's the basic idea. Like, the whole deck revolves around having these rivers, having these suburbs, getting lots of attack speed, getting lots of suburbs, using the other cards as avenue for getting other buffs. The Blood Grove and the Grove, as I already explained, the Bookeries to get more tickets and rivers, Smith's Forge to receive less damage from the boss, and Village to heal HP as you pass through trials. Now, Oblivion. Oblivion is an important card which, at some point, you might need to erase monsters from the road or delete a tile that you don't want there. For example, there's a point in the game where a boss will probably spawn some tiles on some on places that you might want to place tiles. Normally that's when I use Oblivion to take out all those tiles because they will give the boss some buffs. You'll use Oblivion then, you save it for then. Other times you might have spawned way too many vampires for one single loop because after the next loop they will be way too strong because their enemy level will be way too high. What you do, use Oblivion and you take out some of the vampire mansions. That's another strategy. And then in the end, your golden card. You can choose between Ancestral Crypt, Zero Milestone, Maze of Memories and Arsenal. These two, ignore them forever. Don't even think about using them. Now, Arsenal is pretty good, but it's not for our class. For the Necromancer class, I recommend using Ancestral Crypt. Why? You get plus 3%, plus 3 max HP for every enemy with a soul killed by the hero, which will be rat wolves, will be vampires, anything that you are spawning here will have a soul. It will also remove the HP bonus from all armor. That's fine. We don't get any HP bonus from the armor, so. And then the basic thing that it gives you, which is great, it will give you one more try in the run with full HP. Basically, when you die, you get another chance. This is really good because even if you screw up, you get another chance. This is really needed for at least 4 chapters, 3 and 4. The first 2 chapters, you don't even need it. But I'm telling you, this is the deck that you need for a good Necromancer run. Now, we go to the traits, which are these. These are the Necromancer traits that you can get. Now, which ones should you choose for your run? So, in order to know that, first you need to know what are the 3 most important stats for your Necromancer run. It will be, first and foremost, skeleton level. After that, equally needed attack speed. Then summon quality. And then you start going to evasion and other stats. But the 3 key ones are summon skeleton level, summon quality, and attack speed. Those are the key ones. Now, this one is probably, and number of skeletons, sorry, number of skeletons as well. So, this one, if you get this trait early, it's amazing. Normally I would recommend being between 3 and 4 skeletons. If you are below 3, it will be really hard on as you go into more loops. The enemy level will get higher and higher, and if you have only like 2 skeletons, it will be really hard. So I recommend being in the 3 and 4. This one helps because it gives you basically a free max plus 1 skeleton. So you already have 1, so you only need stats that give you plus 2. Another one, I recommend getting this one as well very early in the game because basically it will give you 0.5 max magic shield for every summoned skeleton for the rest of the expedition. If you get this on your first level, it means that when you get to the boss, you already have a sizable shield on you. So it's amazing. The number one that you need to prioritize among all of these though is this one, field practice. It will give you plus 0.25 to skeleton's level for a loop, starting from the loop when this trait was received. If you get this later, it's still worth it, but might not be that good. Why is that? If you are already on a loop enemy level 8 and you are facing the boss, you only get plus 0.25. If you start from level 1, from loop, I don't know, level 2 when you get your first level, if you're using suburbs, you get it even on the first loop, I think. Depends on how many enemies you get to spawn. But you will get, like for 8, if you get this on the first one and you go for 8 loops, you can do the calculation. It's basically a lot of skeleton level. So this is probably the most key one. If you get it on the first loop, use it immediately. Don't even consider other traits. Then I would say go for maximum number of skeletons, this max magic shield, and then there are others that I also consider good that you should also use. This example, if you are struggling with HP, use this one. Each allied skeleton heals the hero for 3 times the loop HP when it dies. If your skeletons are dying fast, this could be good. This one. Each loop 3 higher quality skeletons join the hero side, they persist between battles. Also a good choice if you don't have these 3. I would choose this one. Then this one. Then I would choose this one. First 2 skeletons summoned in a day will be strengthened. You have this one. When an allied skeleton kills an enemy, it fully heals itself and gets a 10% damage and HP buff for the rest of the battle. It's good, but I wouldn't prioritize it above all these like 6 that you see here. This one as well, I wouldn't prioritize it, but if you have an option between these 2 up there and these 2, I would choose. It should be one that you choose. I would choose it over this one, for example. Any direct damage to the hero will be evenly split between him and his skeletons. It means that any direct damage that would go to you will instead be split between you and the skeletons that you have on your. Then you have this one, 20% summon 2 skeletons at once when reaching the maximum number of skeletons. This would be on the low list of priorities. I wouldn't recommend it. And then this one, where whenever you receive direct damage, each allied skeleton has a 15% chance to attack immediately. There will be rare occasions when you can take a hit, but it's still, you only have like 15% chance for your skeleton to attack immediately. It's not worth it. I would only recommend it when all of these are not in there. Then you have this side. This side, I'll be honest, I didn't use many of them. The one that's very key that you might need to use, that I would use if you don't get these 3, is this one. You get one resurrection when you die with full HP, which means that with your ancestral crypt and this trait, you basically have 3 tries. If you die one time, you get your resurrection from the ancestral crypt, and then you get the resurrection from this trait, which is amazing. From here, another thing that will be good is this one. The hero gets 8 times the loop experience each time a map tile is placed. You'll be placing a lot of map tiles. This is only worth it if you get like this one on the very first loop, or on the second loop, because that's when you start putting tiles. If you use this with your suburbs, you'll be getting a lot of traits crazy fast, because you'll be getting this XP and you'll be getting XP from the suburbs that you are putting. So I would say this is like these 2. First consider these 3 here, then these 2, and then all the others. I don't think there's anything else that I would use here. Like, there are some that are good, but they aren't worth it that much. This one could be good. The hero in these cards may strike the target with blood lightning with each attack, 20% chance. It's okay, but I wouldn't consider it. So, recapping everything here. use field practice, skilled architect if you get them on the first or the second loop. This one, if you see it, immediately get it. If you have like a choice between these three, I would consider where you are. If you are later in the loop, I would choose this one. If you are in the beginning of the loop, I would choose even these two. Then the priority list would be Art of Control, Unseen Care, this one's down here, and then this one, this one, this one, this one, and you might want to take this one if you have nothing else. That's what I have in mind for the build. I never used any of the other ones in my runs, so you take it for what you want. Now, let's do a trial run so I can show you what you need to do. Let's choose, I don't know, we can choose the chapter 2. And as a side note, the higher the chapter you go, the enemies will have more abilities, their strength will be higher, and of course you'll gain more resources. So let's start with this one. This is where you choose your class. Let's start with Necromancer. Necromancer doesn't use armor, shield, or helmet, or this thing here, which I don't even know what it is. I think it's for boots as well, doesn't use it. I think it's for rope. So you start your run, right? Now, in the beginning, you probably won't get the item, so you just put whatever you have there. You have your ancestral grip. I tend to put it here in the middle. This is where I start. So, okay. Blood grove. We'll be using the blood grove and put it here, right next here. So it affects the boss. Whenever you get the grove, we put the grove there. See, there we go. We'll be putting the grove here. Now the boss will spawn here, and you'll have 15% less HP. Cocoon, I'll leave that to you. You choose. Now, you can pause, and the ear you are seeing here. This is when the boss will start appearing. When it reaches this. Now, river. You need to place the rivers the way I'll show you. It has to be like a line through here. Then it goes like one river here, and then another line. So it basically, you get two rivers going down the line here, two lines of rivers, and then you get double. So instead of being like, if you put a thicket here, instead of being 4%, it will be actually 8%. That's how OP it is. I'll put another grove here, put here, and then, as I said, you need to make like a 4. 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year to get the higher suburb. I'm missing the name, but you'll see in a minute. A bookery. I'll put it here. So whenever I pass, it will replace the cards that I have there. Another river, so you continue putting them like this. I'll put the battlefield there. Here. Now we are looking for first we are looking for skeleton level, then max skeletons, then summon quality, and attack speed. No, attack speed, first attack speed, then skeleton levels, max skeletons, summon quality. Thicket, we put it here, see? Our attack speed now is 4%. If we put it without the river, it would be only 2%. Now I have a vampire mansion, I won't put it yet. Actually, you can actually put the vampire mansion where? You can put it here next to the campfire, because you'll get the help of your watchtowers. I won't play the forest. See. Now a new item, a new grimoire. It has more skeleton levels, so I'll use it instead. Another upgrade there. Now your village. You can place it anywhere. What I usually do is I place it near the vampire mansion. Why is that? It will give you like an insane amount of enemies which we can farm. I'll show it to you in a minute. Let me just put another river here, a grove here, and then you'll see what will happen now. See, it just spawned these 4 ghouls. Whenever you put a village next to your vampire mansion, it will do this. Now, there will be a point where this won't happen, you can't farm anymore, so you'll just use an oblivion on this and put another village here. So you can get ghouls spawning again and get a lot of XP and a lot of probably good gear. Another ticket, okay, see, and we keep going. This is what I'm telling you. See here, this is your watchtower. They basically do all the damage for you, and you get a lot of rare loot, as you can see here. Now, this one has 3 stats, so I'll use it, because it also adds attack speed, and this one is clearly better. Summon quality, here we get summon quality, we get skeleton level, so I'll use that. Keep putting the river, and we get here, and you can see, up there on the corner it said less 15% HP. Keep putting suburbs, so as you kill more enemies, you get more. As you can see with the battlefield, you also get rarer items. I'll use to replace this one because it has summon quality. The other one didn't have a stat that we wanted, so there we go. Suburbs here, and then you get the town, which will give you 2 XP instead of 1. That's what you want. You want to stack a lot of towns. Keep putting rivers. Attack speed, but we have better rings already. I'll put even more suburbs. So we're getting a lot of XP. And now we get our first trait on 2. This is what we want. Now, I didn't get any of the good ones that I told you in these 2. So, of course we'll go for the one that gives us +1 resurrection. I don't think it's needed because it's chapter 2, but it's good to be safe. We keep our oblivion, although probably we'll lose it here. Now, we are getting near the bookery, so start playing your cards, don't leave it until too late or you'll lose them. Another town here. Now, this one, I would say don't switch it, there's lower skeleton level, and although it has summon quality, we prioritize the attack speed there. Okay, this we have summon quality, which is better than what we had there. Keep putting for this. And then, see, we just got from the bookery new, and the bookery is applying to these 3 tiles. So, we need to use it immediately, otherwise it will refresh the cards on our end, on this tile and on this tile. So, the ones that you just received, use them. Smith's Forge, which was what I was talking about, you'll be using here. So whenever you go here, the boss will deal 30% less damage. You just... Now, I wasn't fast enough there, you need to stop time, otherwise that can happen. Don't think it's a mistake I did there. Level 3, I would say replace it. Sometimes, even though the loot rarity is not better than the one that you have, the stats are better. You can't look at the loot rarity, you need to look at the stats. Right here it's giving us plus 25%. I think those 5% is better than that evasion or that regen, so I'll just use it here. The stats are more important than the loot rarity, remember that. As you go through, you get 1 more ticket here. As you can see, the attack speed is increasing. Now, what we want to do is, actually the map placement here is not as good, so we might need to pass these 2 here inside, so we can make a line here and put rivers from here, and then we start going like this on the rivers. See? And you get items as you go along your run. And then here is really cool that you have your watchtowers. See, the loot is really good. This one. Now, we really need the max skeletons. I think we should prioritize these instead of the summon quality. So I'll just replace this one. And here we got higher summon quality, more attack speed. So of course we'll replace there. Here we got 2.23 skeleton level compared to 0.70. So we'll use it there. We are stronger, and now with our suburbs we are getting another trait. Here, no good traits here. What I would put here is I would actually put the after killing an enemy, your next attack will deal 2 times the loop extra damage. This is better than these two. Now another grove, put it there. And you can see a lot of more enemies are spawning. See? So as you go later and later into the loop, you'll start getting more and more enemies. Here, I don't think you should replace it. Now, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of towns, lots of suburbs, so lots of XP. But this run we are getting unlucky. See, I don't use any forests, I'm patient. And then that's when you use your tickets whenever you get them, like right now. One more ticket. And we are getting almost done with our line for the rivers. Another ticket. Now I'll put another vampire mansion here, because I think it's okay, we are already strong, so we can deal with this. More suburbs. I won't put this one yet, we get another trait. For this one, it's not a good run at all, we didn't get all those that I said we should prioritize, so I put this one. No. Suburbs here. Also, you need to go into your options and make sure that after every single encounter with an enemy, you'll pause the game. Why is that? Otherwise, the game will just keep playing and then you'll run into a bookery and lose the cards, right? I have it to press on space to return to the game. So, as you can see, I press space. And now, after this combat, you'll see it didn't go to this tile where it would refresh my cards. Now I have time. Here, that's where we make our... start to make our line back up. Now, let me see. We don't have anything. Summer quality. No, it's not worth it. Now, I want to show something. This is when we start putting rivers like this. Now, look, pay closer look. We are at 28% attack speed. When we put a thicket between two rivers, this is what happens. 28%. 40%. Why is that? Because it's multiplying these two times 2 times 2. Understand? We do the same here. Now we are at 48% because it's plus 8. We get 2, 4, 8. That's how it works. And it's pretty cool. And that's basically the plan. The more rivers we get, the more attack speed we get, the stronger we are. These ghosts are good because they'll give us a lot of loot. Keep putting more XP to get more traits. That's the gameplay loop. Now I'll replace the sum quality with the attack speed because it's more important. Now you see I'm losing a little bit of HP, so but it should still be fine. And I take my time in getting to the boss, you see? We get that from our watchtowers. More skeleton level. This enemy is really crazy. By the way. He'll give you a lot of loot. Now, these items that we receive out of the level 4, they aren't better because they don't have the stats that we want. New trait. Now, we are on 3, so I would still consider this one. Because it's better than any of these. The hero gets XP each time a map tile is placed. So with our suburbs and now I place, so I got XP, for example. I'll put another vampire because we are okay right now in terms of damage. And we are getting closer to the boss. We'll keep an eye on that bar as well. Although we haven't gotten that much good quality for the stats that we want in terms of loot. Now let's see. Now this is worth it, even though, because it gives you the summon quality, then the skeleton level. We keep building servers, you never stop. Put more enemies on the map. Another bookery, because this one is expired. Here. And you can see we just melt everything. And we aren't even with that good of stats. Because it's RNG based as well, so you need to be aware of that. As long as you look for the stats that you want, that I told you, you should be fine. There will be unlucky runs, of course, but even when you are unlucky, it's still fine. You can see I'm putting a lot of enemies on the map and I'm doing well. Now, what I'll do right now, as you see, our village, it's no longer spawning ghouls. I'll use an oblivion there and I'll put a new village to spawn ghouls. And as I place another tile, because I have that trait that gives us XP, we get this. Now, we are on loop 4, we're almost at the boss, so I want to put this. I'll put 3 iron skeletons join the hero side. If I was on loop enemy level 1 or 2, I would put this one. Another thicket. We are now at 92% attack speed. That's the effect you get with the rivers and the thickets. And you don't see me using forests. Now, sometimes it might be beneficial to rush a boss. Where, on chapter 4, you'll face a lot of bosses. So, in there it might be beneficial to face the first boss on an enemy level lower. In there, I might recommend you to put some forests, just to spawn that first boss. Because that's probably the toughest boss that you'll get, is that first one. As you go along after the next few, you can start doing the same strategy. But for chapter 4, I recommend using some forests. That's the only time I will do that. If you aren't getting tickets. If you are getting tickets, then it's fine. Now, like the map here also didn't help us, because it's not really like, you see, we can't build much more suburbs up. See, we are getting a lot of suburbs here. And the boss is almost close. We will probably face in these levels. You can see our attack speed is crazy, 116 already. If you keep going, it will get even crazy, like on the 300s, 200%. I'm not even looking at this because I know that ours is better right now. More tickets. And the boss is almost here. As you can see, I mean, our stats aren't even that great in terms of the skeleton level and the rest, so the boss might actually pose a challenge. Let's see. It's actually a bad run to show you my strategy, but it does work. Just unlucky with the gear that we got. As long as you look for skeleton level, summon quality, attack speed, max skeletons, that's all you need. And we are on a good level for max skeletons. Don't need that much more. One more would be great, but it's fine. And the boss spawn. You can also strategize a bit when you want to spawn a boss by, for example, if you are on the end of the loop. This time I didn't care. But you don't place a tile until you get through the campfire, and then the boss spawns after you have already got to the campfire, so you have all these tiles to farm, gear, and your stats. It's an intelligent way to do that. And as you notice, as I play along, I'm using healing potions. I have a lot of them. The more you have, the better you will be. More tickets. Let's see if we can get another trait before we face this boss. And now, since the boss is already here, what I would do is I would start playing forests, because it doesn't matter, right? The boss is already spawned. So, doesn't matter if you are rushing or not, no. Let's see what this guy gave us. Not good. They usually give good stuff, but not on this run. We actually didn't get any good gear this run. It's insane. And now we got the trait just before. And it's awesome. We didn't get any good traits. But as you can see, this coupled with the suburbs gave us 6 traits, which is insane. For this one, I would say this one is the best. Because you get the shield. Now I won't put any more servers, doesn't make sense, because we are already on the max traits we can get for this one, and now we face a boss. Even though other stats aren't ideal, you'll see that we'll beat him easily. Even with not that good stats, you beat the boss pretty easily, without even losing HP almost. No HP loss, you didn't even need the resurrection, see? That's how crazy it is. Now, this was my guide for the Necromancer. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. That's all I know about Necromancer. That's what worked for me for every chapter. I beat this chapter already 6 times, easily, with this build. Any questions? Happy to help. Leave a comment, like if you enjoyed this guide, and subscribe if you think I got what it takes in terms of videos that I've been posting. Thank you, and see you on the next one.